Just imagine if a Shaolin monk started studying in a regular school. What would happen to the other kids? Something like this happens in our story today. The story begins with a boy named Lee who was learning Kung Fu in a Shaolin Gurukul. He had been training there since birth. One day, Lee went to the temple of the Gurukul and apologized because what he was about to do might not be right. At that moment, a warrior attacked him from the side. Lee was startled by the sudden attack, but he somehow managed to face the blow. The warrior threw him against the wall, but Lee jumped back. He attacked the warrior's chest in mid-air and defeated him in just a few moments. Then it was the turn of a swordsman warrior. Lee also defeated him with his skill. After this, he moved towards the third warrior. Although that warrior was sitting in meditation, he still heard Lee approaching and threw his beads at the mirror, dazzling Lee's eyes. In the next moment, he lifted Lee and slammed him to the ground. The warrior was just about to win when Lee slipped away, and then a fierce fight began between them. In the end, Lee won. Then he bowed his head in the temple and left. The teacher at the Gurukul told him that he showed the most skill in the exam, so he would get the opportunity to go to the new school in the city. In the city, he would stay with a family of 3, which includes 2 children and their father. That man is actually a scientist who knew the teacher from the Gurukul. After that, Lee set off for the new city. In the new school, there was a 15-year-old boy named Feng who was a taekwondo player. His younger sister, Shan, loved her brother very much. Lian Petius Tatia Ke Lan Kum managed the school's taekwondo club. She would watch Feng's matches and point out his weaknesses so he could improve. Lian's brother was a big foodie. All he ever thought about was eating. The 4 of them were good friends and lived nearby. In fact, Lee was going to stay at Lian's house. Their father, Dr. Han, was working hard. His wife had passed away several years ago, so he was absorbed in his work. He was preparing a special device that the city's thugs had their eyes on. Dr. Han called the children, but Lan was not happy because her father never came home. Dr. Han promised to come soon and asked them to open a gift he had sent home. Actually, that box contained the same device that the goons wanted to steal. Just then, Lee knocked on the door and Lan brought him inside. She took him to show his room, and meanwhile, the goons captured her father. The gang leader Larry threatened Dr. Han to give him the device. Dr. Han said that there is no such device. He explained that he was working on AI technology so that his children could talk to a robot with their mother's voice, but Larry did not believe him. He found out from the CCTV footage that the device had already gone to Dr. Han's house. Then 2 of Larry's henchmen stepped forward to take on the responsibility of stealing the device. Hey, Raida, tu kaida asta. Sloppy and Fist were quite happy because this was their first mission after becoming goons. They disguised themselves in strange clothes and stood outside Lan's house. One of them decided to sneak in at night, but then the other said that the kids would have gone to school anyway. And now, Mickey, what up, TKDK? What's in the morning? We'll steal it during the day, brother. What's the matter? At home, Lee was learning the ways of the new city. He saw Lan watching a taekwondo match, so he also found this game interesting. At night, when he sat in meditation, a debate started between them because of the video game, but soon they both began to enjoy the video game together. Meanwhile, when Lan opened the gift box in her room, she found a panda keychain. She didn't know that this panda was actually the pen drive that the goons had been after for a long time. When Lan pressed the button, the panda asked her to set a password. At that moment, that Lan said, "What password?" And unknowingly, that became the password. Then, upon turning on the panda, she discovered it had her mother's artificial intelligence voice. The next morning, Lee set out with Yu and Lan for the first day of school. The 2 goons saw the kids going outside and decided to execute their plan. But then one of them noticed the panda chain that Lan had hung from her bag. Now they planned to snatch that device from Lan. On the way, Lan introduced Lee to Fang. At that moment, a thug secretly stole the keychain and ran away. Just then, Lee saw him and quickly caught the thug. Fang also came to help, and together they gave the thug a good beating. But the thug still didn't give up and once again stole the panda and ran away. This time, Onatai Taikosek, the friends together, fit him into a trash can and rolled it down the street. Then the kids in Lee's class at school were amazed to see a Shaolin warrior. They started asking him if he could ever get married. They began asking him strange questions. Can you ever get married? Brother, show us some kung fu. Brother, show us once.
Ha ha ha, just once. Brother, show us some kung fu, brother.
It will be fun doing kung fu. Finally, the teacher calmed them down and said to do all this during the play period. During the play period, their coach informed them that next month their agility would be tested and anyone who doesn't pass won't be able to go to the next class. Hearing this, Yu got worried because he was very fat. God knows, brother, how difficult it was for him to walk. Then the coach made everyone run 100 meters. Lee completed 2 laps ahead of time while the other kids were still on their first lap. Then they were asked to do push-ups, in which Lee was already an expert. He did more than 100 push-ups while the other kids couldn't even do 2. Later, he even started doing push-ups with one hand. Seeing his ability, all the children started jumping. Then it was time for the high jump. This was a piece of cake for Lee. Poor Yu fell face down there. In Dr. Han's lab, Larry had tied them to a chair and was harassing them by hitting with a golf ball. At night, those 2 goons sneaked into Lan's house. Just then, Lee noticed them and started scaring them by hiding behind a toy. But they soon spotted him and attacked him when they got the chance. When Lan arrived there, the goons stole the panda and fled. Lee told Lan and Yu the whole story, but they thought he was joking. After this, we see that both thugs were lying with golf balls in their mouths. In fact, they mistakenly stole a perfume that looked like the panda's chain. Beppo asat tairigi not. Meanwhile, the Paisha says Sayaki Kwaisa Bio Larry has to sell a special device to a company within 3 days, and that's why she started feeling anxious. In great anger, she aimed at those 2 goons with golf balls and ordered them to bring that special device as soon as possible. I to bakke bai. The next day at school, all the children were watching Fang's taekwondo match. Meanwhile, Yu and Shanshan started talking about 2 ugly girls sitting at the back. These girls were none other than the 2 goons who had come there in disguise. They saw the panda on Lan's bag and began waiting for the right moment to steal it. At that moment, Lee challenged Fang to a match. All the children rushed forward to watch this exciting match. Seeing the right opportunity, the goons tried to steal the panda from the bag, but in the process, their fake hair got stuck there. Meanwhile, there was an intense clash between Fang and Lee in the match, with both overpowering each other. Finally, both decided not to hit each other, and the match ended. At that moment, everyone turned around and recognized those 2 thugs. The children attacked them together, but this time they threatened to harm a girl and ran away with the panda device. Then the children went to the principal, called the police, and explained the whole situation. Meanwhile, Lee was blaming himself for everything, because if he hadn't challenged Fang, Lan wouldn't have moved away from her bag. But the other children reassured him that he shouldn't think that way. Finally, Larry got hold of the device and used it to run a program on the computer, but he needed a password to use it, which he didn't know. He called some programmers to unlock it, but even after the whole day passed, nothing was achieved. Now, Larry's anger had crossed all limits. Just then, he saw a message from Dr. Han's daughter on his phone. Lan wanted her father to come home for her birthday tomorrow. Larry promised, on behalf of Dr. Han, to attend the party tomorrow. The next day, Lan and her friends were preparing for the birthday party. Everyone else left Lan alone at home to get gifts for her. Just then, Lan received a message from her father that he had arrived outside the house, but as soon as she went outside, someone kidnapped her and took her away in a car. At the same time, Lee and his friends saw Lan in the van and started chasing it on their bicycles. Eventually, they all reached Dr. Han's lab and began searching for Lan. Meanwhile, Larry and his business partner were having an argument because Larry was supposed to sell that special device the next day, but he still didn't know its password. Now, in anger, Larry held a knife to Lan's throat and started asking her for the password. Lan replied, "Ja, what password?" And at that moment, the program started. Outside the two YK, see the 2 initial goons were guarding the hideout. Lee and Fang attacked them and knocked them down in just a few moments. But then they faced Larry's man, Bradley. He was also a dangerous fighter, so even together, Lee and Fang couldn't defeat him. Inside the lab, Larry's deal was about to be finalized when Yu quietly came and freed his sister and father. Lee also arrived there and fought the goons. At that moment, Larry ran outside with the bag containing the pen drive. But Dr. Han, Yu and Lan teamed up to beat him up. Lee once again went to support Fang in the fight against Bradley. Ultimately, the two of them managed to defeat him. In the end, the police also arrived and caught all the goons. Later, the principal awarded Lee and Yu medals for their bravery.
If you liked the video, please like it and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.